So 3 days into the new year, I actually hurt my knee, so we're going to be doing a different kind of tutorial this week. This week's Yogi Escape tutorial is going to be on 5 tips to help you start an at-home yoga practice. So the first tip I have for you for how to start an at-home yoga practice is to just start. Just starting can be the hardest part of anything you do. It takes a lot of practice and patience with yourself to begin a new habit. The easiest way to make the decision to start your yoga practice is to buy a yoga mat. This is a great way to start your practice. It's a small investment into your future and what is best for you. The best place to buy a yoga mat when you're starting is at Walmart. They're usually about $10 to $15, and with everyday use, you might have this last about a year if you get one that's reversible. My only recommendation to you for mats is to get one that you really like to look at, one that will make you jump out of bed and want to get on your mat for the day. If you're willing to invest some more money into your mat, I left a few more suggestions in the comments below with my favorite mat companies. The last part of tip number 1 is to not rely on motivation to get you on your mat. Use discipline. Set yourself up for a goal that will help you get on your mat as many times as you'd like for the week. Tell yourself, I will get on my mat every day this week. Or, I will get on my mat 3 days this week. Anything that works for you. You don't want to rely on motivation to get on your mat because you won't always be motivated to do so. So set some goals that will help set you up for success. Tip number 2 is to set up some realistic expectations for yourself. If you're inactive and you haven't done any activity before, jumping in and doing 50 minutes a day may be too much for you. Choose something that works for you. Meet yourself where you are currently instead of where you want to be. Know your schedule and your lifestyle and plan around that. If you have any injuries or are recovering from anything, make sure you take that into account. We want to be realistic in our expectations of ourselves, especially in a yoga practice. It's not about pushing. Here it's about flowing. What works best for your flow? Tip number 3 for how to start an at-home yoga practice is finding your why. The best way to do this is to keep asking yourself why you want to do this. Ask yourself why until you get to a reason that makes you very emotional and makes you have passion to want to do this goal. Here's an example of this. I want to do yoga to lose weight. I want to lose weight because I've had depression and had a hard time staying healthy. I want to feel healthy so I could feel like I have worth in my life and I could feel confident in my body. I want to feel confident in my body so that I can be less anxious and less depressed. I want to be less anxious and less depressed because it's really hard to go through every day feeling that way. I want to practice yoga because it'll help me in my breathing, and that will help me with my anxiety and depression. In the end, it's really not about the why that you had in the first place. It's about what brings out that emotional reaction in you. Step 4 is non-comparison. This was one of the first lessons that I learned in my own yoga practice. It is still something that I work on every single day. What I mean by this is don't compare what you're doing right now today to what somebody else is doing. Don't compare what you're doing right now today to what you will be doing in 6 months. Start with where you are right now. This is one of the hardest practices that I've encountered in my yoga journey as well, but it's one that you should start with at the beginning. It can be very easy in a yoga practice to compare yourself to somebody else and what they're doing. But their bodies are different, their minds are different, what they like is different, everything about them is different than you. We all have different journeys when it comes to our yoga practice. I know some people who practice Ashtanga, who practice Hatha, who practice Yin, all different types of yoga. Some people practice all, some people practice one. It all depends on what works for you. Forget about what others look like, forget about what they're doing. What feels good to you? Tip number 5 to start an at-home yoga practice is to find some beginner-free yoga tools that will help you start your practice. So I put some of my favorites in the comment section below and I'll just talk about them a bit. So my first one that I recommend to everyone is Yoga with Adriene. Her Find What Feels Good community is amazing for starting yoga. She is all about the beginner mindset and introducing people to yoga. She does 30-day challenges every January, which you can join in right now. Her challenge this month is called Dedicate, and I definitely recommend it if you want to dedicate yourself to an at-home yoga practice. But if you don't like her videos, find something that you like to do. So my second suggestion is Yoga with Cassandra. She practices more yin yoga, and this is a really great style if you find that you're stressed out and you want to relax the muscles of your body. My last suggestion is Kino Yoga. She has a 30-day beginner challenge that is perfect for if you want to learn Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is a style where you get up and you practice the same set of poses every single day. Even though you're practicing the same poses every day, you observe the changes in the body and mind. Know yourself. If you aren't going to want to practice at home and you think that starting at a studio is way better for you, then make the decision to do that and commit. A lot of studios offer introductory packages where you pay one monthly fee and you get to try any classes you want at that studio. I definitely recommend starting here. At the end of the day, any yoga practice is better than none, so find something that works for you. And remember, don't compare yourself. Start where you are today, and just start. The hardest part is starting, and it's definitely a practice in itself to just step onto your mat. Even if you're getting on for 1 minute a day, that's still better than none. Even if you're not even able to make it to your mat, and you just want to sit up in bed and take some deep breaths, that's your yoga practice. You can make it anything you want to make it. The last thing I'll leave you with in this video is an idea that how you breathe is how you feel. If you're ready to feel good and breathe well, yoga is the right place for you. Next week I'll be sharing some tips on how to maintain your at-home yoga practice. If there are any more videos that you'd like to see from my channel, please leave a comment below. Like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed my tips. Thank you so much for watching. See you next Thursday.